Hugh, first day. Give me your honest feedback as to how it went.
Look at me. I've given it everything. My brain is fried. Um, but franchement, I always like when people say like when they say honestly, I'm like, what? Are you dishonest? Is this unusual for you? Like, are you embracing honesty for the first time?
I would say you are the most honest person I've ever met in my entire
I
life.
could do with the filter. I could do.
Yeah, probably the only person who needs to be a little less honest sometimes.
But I genuinely was very happy about today. It was exhausting, but exhausting in a good sense. We did great things. I thought the discourse on the theatre, where I'm pushing into kind of like a hedge fund laboratory, and Tom Roderick, my ex investment partner, and he was like my analyst. We had Brent, Santiago, and he was presenting a trade, and the idea was like he was presenting to me. I was the hedge fund manager of Eclectica, and like. It's tough. Like, and I switch into my hedge fund
Mr.
manager.
Hugh Henry.
Yeah, what you got? Well, like, you got the audacity to present this thing, okay? And I'm gonna grill you. I want to know more, and you better understand it because if you don't understand it, I'm gonna fry you. And so that was fun, and I think fun for people to see the switch from the silliness to hyper focused. So that was good. The boat was blissful. Where the sun is setting in St. Bart's, where it's blowing blue.
Yeah. So is it tomorrow where the guests here? You're going to be the hedge fund manager, and they're going to be asking you their trade, and you're going to be grilling them.
Well, let's see who's brave enough. I think I may have put. I mean, I like.
He put Brent Johnson through the ringer. Brent he had a pick, which was what?
Beans in the teens.
He wanted the beans.
Soya bean futures.
Yeah.
And the beans have fallen from $16 to about $9.80, so let's call it $10. And Brent wants to go long the beans. And so the question to the audience and to anyone listening to this is, if I actually took delivery. So first of all, what is the dollar size of being long one contract of soya beans? And imagine you forget to roll it, and you get a call from the secretary. Oh, Mr. Andrew, we have a delivery. I'm like, Amazon, like, no, it's a big delivery. There's some trucks. Here's a question for you. How many trucks would it require to transport $1 million? Is it $1 million? Is that the minimum size of the futures contract in beans in the teens?
Yeah. So are you going to be
working mode?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we got Chigo. She's jumping in like she's everywhere.
What were your thoughts on the soybean trade? You didn't give your opinion.
Oh God, I hate trading grains like a rash.
She hates trading beans.
I hate trading grains in general. And that said, I do have some long calls on wheat.
Well, don't tell Hugh. He's going to put you through the ringer.
I know.
It's your turn tomorrow.
You got to give.
Let's talk about energy. Let's talk about metals, like my favorite subject, not agriculture.
Let's do metals. I'll kick your ass on metals.
Okay, let's do that.
Everyone's bullish. I'm not bullish on metals.
Tom and I are.
And
we've talked on the side about that. We kind of have.
You're grouping up against me. That's fine. I can take it. Yeah. The analysts always do this, but they've got to come to Daddy, and they've got to get Daddy's permission to put it in the fund.
So Hugh, here's a question. You said that you always want to buy the breakouts, and after gold had a huge breakout, why are you so against going long?
Yeah. I mean, the paper I put out on Substack recently, the charts are a component, and a very, very powerful and important component of the trading, but they're not everything. The intelligent macro mind calls upon many sources, and when I look at other sources, to your point, to answer your question directly, because I can't conceive of it tripling.
Yeah. So it's all about risk to reward.
Risk to reward.
And gold is not my absolute favorite trade either, so I have to agree with Hugh on that. And I actually did a spaces with him a month or two ago, which is on Mic Drop Markets podcast that you can find anywhere. So I do agree with him on the gold trade in some aspect. I still think people like it as kind of a hedge to their ultimate portfolio.
It's a bullshit hedge. Like in the last, since 2003, gold has risen 7 times, S&P has risen 6 times. Like, you're right in this. Like, so gold was a hedge and a glorious hedge in the 1970s, because gold went up 34 times and the S&P had a lost decade. Gold, again, was a hedge, it was a diversifier, but the worst hedge in history because it fell from 850 bucks.
Well, it's no longer an inflation hedge. That kind of decoupled after the 70s, right?
Anything can be anything depending on the price and your imagination.
All right.
Okay, and so that my issue with gold just now is it's 16% market, like if you will, market capitalization versus global GDP. And when we go back into the annals of time when gold was in a grotesque bubble, it was 20%. So price it at 20% of global GDP is 3,200. And I'm saying I think if it goes to 3,200, it probably has like a 2008 reversion where it might come down to 1,600. So I'm kind of looking at something which could go up 40%, fall 40%. And symmetry, I ain't a symmetrical. My goodness, it's a symmetrical, but I ain't a symmetrical person.
I understand that, but I want to talk about metals. I want to talk about silver, and I want to talk about base and industrial.
What's your favorite metal?
Right now,
No, like next Tuesday.
the most hated one ever, silver.
Silver's preposterous.
It is, and I want to talk about that tomorrow.
Silver perhaps had the longest bear market
Ever on the planet?
ever on the planet.
What?
44 years and counting.
Oh my god, and it's the ugliest chart ever.
Well, the chart, I mean, again, the technicals on it are, you could be very positively constructed on the technicals of it. But the gold crew are a bit like Monty Python. What's the whole Monty Python, the Holy Grail, and the Black Knight? And the guy comes in, he's like, come on, and the good knight takes off his arm. It's like, takes off his other arm, takes off his leg, and his other leg is like mere flesh wounds. 44 years, and I'm still below the all-time high. I'm bullish. Like,
I know. So,
he's just walking away.
I know, but I want to discuss this tomorrow.
Yes, please. Tom's bullish on gold.
I know.
On silver. Silver now is a store of sunshine.
Let's talk about this tomorrow. And just hear my side of the argument, because it's not because the chart looks like shit. I actually have some fundamental reasons for this. And so yeah.
And it's that the argument, like the teaser for everyone is the argument is, gold had a ripping bull market in the 70s where you had the precious metal demand, but also it flipped and it got accentuated by the industrial demand from photography, from Kodak.
Right. And now we're seeing this in another light because we have something new from Samsung. We'll talk about this tomorrow, which I think is going to be,
She's only saying that, like, everyone in the world uses an iPhone, and she has, like, I don't know what the hell that is. It's not a phone.
a Samsung.
So Q, what would be your trip? Is it TLT?
My principal trade is having the audacity just not to be really that invested at the present moment in a world where everything's overpowered. I'm waiting for an opportunity.
Are you just rolling bills?
And that makes sense.
Yeah, Jesus, like the carry. I mean, there are hedge fund technical trades you could put on.
What do you think about China? Because I had
China?
I had Louis Vincent,
the red cabbage.
Gap on the other day on my Spaces, and everybody said you have got to have them both on a Spaces together. So,
he's a very charming Frenchman.
So I want to.
Let's make it happen.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm gonna ask Louis then.
Rumble
Perfect.
in the jungle.
Let's
Rumble in
do
the
it.
jungle.
Let's do it.
We will update you tomorrow on whether Chai Girl persuaded me on the charms, the Samsung charms of silver.
And see if we get Louis Gap with Hugh Henry.
Come on, Louis, where are you? Come on.
On Spaces. So,
I
that'll
hate
be fantastic.
Spaces, but what the hell?
I know, but everybody.
Oh my god, my zip's done.
Oh,
Well, good thing you can't see it.
oh no.
Yep. Day one. I would say complete, but knowing Hugh, it has just now begun because we have gone from all business all day. Well, we were on the boat, kind of got a little sun on there. It was a really cool boat. I've never seen a Porsche boat before, but there's a first for everything. And so now there's going to be dinner and obviously some sort of party at the Blanc Bleu mansion, as Hugh calls it, which it is. I mean, this is objectively the coolest house ever. And so, I mean, if it was a little bit confusing what they were saying, don't worry about that because it's just a lot of economic theory. They were going over trade ideas today at the. We were having a conference. This is a hedge fund conference, and they were going over trade ideas. And so there was a few people that were pitching ideas, and Hugh was acting as the hedge fund manager, which their goal is to dissuade the analyst as to why that's a bad position. They're putting them through the ringer, seeing how much they actually know. You're not when someone has an idea, you don't just confirm and say, "Yeah, let's do it." You have to get every single nook cranny out of it, and so that's what they were going through. Some really really tough discussions earlier around a lot of complex subjects. I'm pretty wiped out, especially did a lot of swimming in the ocean. The ocean's right behind us here. So just another day in paradise and just going to, you know, probably have a few too many cocktails tonight and do it again tomorrow. So this is the dream right here. I've been working since we've been home, but this is why you work hard. I don't think people realize how fun this is. It is absolutely awesome having the coolest conversations with incredible people. And this is the house that you're staying in. I mean, this is surreal. It's absolutely surreal. So I'll give you guys a house tour at some point, but it'd be a bit inappropriate right now.